Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna be reacting to.
Streaming was a mistake.
Is making a major comeback. No, not that kind. Video piracy. Remember when streaming was supposed to be the hero that killed piracy? Yeah, that didn't happen. And the reasons why are obvious. Subscription prices are skyrocketing, shows are getting pulled from libraries, and exclusive content is being scattered across a dozen different services. Instead of
Yeah, I think it's the last part.
Yeah, that's annoying.
It's that the first two, what he said, whatever, but the fact that there's like 276 streaming services, and
Why?
it defeats the purpose. Like
Yeah.
having one streaming platform that, okay, I'm gonna pay $10 a month, but I'm not gonna, pirate anything. It's worth it. Fuck it, get the artists paid whatever they earned. But and I'll have access to it. But the fact that nowadays, like, everything is just, oh, Netflix, Amazon Video, Hulu, HBO Max, Peacock, Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus. Really?
You know what's awful for me is
What?
that you can have the streaming service, and just like a grocery store, one store has 2 fluid ounces, the other one has 8 fluid ounces. So one streaming platform can have maybe 10 seasons, and the other one has like 25, and you're like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah. The only way to do it is rotate streaming services nowadays.
Yeah.
Commit to one for a month to watch everything you want. Next. It's like, it's just becoming ridiculous. You can easily run up like $100 bill just on streaming services.
I think more.
Probably more, yeah, if you really like. If you want to have
If you want
access to
Netflix,
everything.
okay, you want to have Netflix for sure.
Yeah.
But then there's something trending on Amazon Prime that everyone has to watch together. They have to watch it. Then you gotta have Peacock, because Peacock, the Housewives, you gotta watch the Housewives. So Peacock, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and I need to have HBO Max because that's the shows with the T. So that's 4. And how much is that already?
Each is roughly like 10-ish. The cheapest plan, $10-ish dollars. Yeah.
And then you want no ads. Excuse me.
Oh no,
People
no,
don't want the ads.
Nah, I watch it with ads. We have the ads.
No, now we settle with no. For a long time, we didn't have no ads.
Ads was good.
But
You
then
get
the
a pee
only
break.
yeah,
Ads was good.
yeah. But before that, we actually like no. Oh, we don't want no ads. Like, we were bougie. Now we were humbled because the prices went up, and we say, okay, babe, we need ads.
Ads don't bother me as much. They're not as bad as TV ads. Ads usually on these platforms usually a minute, 90 seconds. On TV, the ad is like 5 minutes plus. I know it's.
You know, on YouTube, you know what they do? Even though you pay for no ads, the show that you're watching, they insert their own ads. Like,
Oh, yeah.
hey guys, this is an
But-
ad. Like, that's crazy.
Okay, no, but that's different though. That's how the YouTubers get paid.
Yeah.
So like that's a significant amount of money though for that ad. The YouTube ads, they get pennies, but for those ads, they get the major bucks. So I'm not mad at those, because those you can also skip though. You can just skip. Okay, next.
Yeah,
skip a
it just
minute,
so happens that I have put my phone down and I'm away doing
Then
the
you
task.
you won't listen to that ad.
making our lives easier, streaming has morphed into cable 2.0. Expensive, fragmented, and frustrating. Want to watch Severance? You'll need Apple TV.
Oh, Apple TV, we forgot.
Watch The Office? Well, it used to be on Netflix, but now you'll need Peacock.
You know what
Sports?
show I want
One
to
game is on-
watch? I want to watch Billions. I just think the theme song is so
Showtime,
beautiful.
too, yeah.
That's on Showtime?
Yeah.
Oh.
On DAZN, another on Fubo. How are you even supposed to keep track of where everything is? These days, finding that one specific movie you want to watch feels like a chore. You're gonna need Google, maybe even a VPN, and while you're at it, may as well pull out your credit card because it's probably on a streaming service that you don't have. Somehow, we've never
Or
had
you
more
create
entertainment
different
available,
emails and do the free trial and then switch email.
yet we're constantly struggling to find and
Not
afford the
everybody
stuff we
offers it.
actually want to watch. Piracy has once again become the most convenient
I don't know
option,
if I like
but it
it.
doesn't have to be. Look at music. They eventually figured it out. Imagine how stupid it would be if you could only listen to Kendrick Lamar on Spotify while Drake was exclusive to Apple Music. Actually, given their beef, they might like that, so never mind. In the early 2000s,
Remember,
music
there was
piracy,
Tidal Music. You could only listen to Tidal artists on Tidal.
fueled by sites like Napster and LimeWire, had the music industry in full-blown panic. Piracy wasn't just winning because it was free, it was winning because it offered a superior service. Why would anyone bother going out to a store to buy a $10 CD just to hear that one song they liked? Napster and LimeWire gave you exactly what you wanted. The music industry slowly
And
came to
also
terms with
a
this
lot of
being
other
the
things
future
I
of music
didn't want.
consumption, and in 2003, Apple launched the iTunes Music Store, selling digital downloads for 99 cents a song. For music lovers who weren't already pirating music, iTunes was incredible. It made music more accessible,
You know,
arguably
LimeWire, it was so simple. It's easy because, you know, for me, I don't have instructions. You know, it's so easy to drag the song and put it onto the CD. For Apple, I felt like there was a lot of buttons going on. I didn't know what to do. I was doing.
Yeah, for the iPods, it was harder to put music on iPods
Yeah.
versus on regular MP3 players.
Yeah.
more affordable and completely reshaped how we discover new artists. But for the pirates, it didn't offer anything they didn't already have. The game changer didn't arrive until 2008, when Spotify gave music pirates a real reason to quit. Suddenly, the iTunes model was obsolete. We stopped buying music altogether and started paying a monthly fee for all you can stream access. The price was right, and the convenience was too. It became
But
clear
iTunes
that
still
if you wanted to
exists.
actually stop piracy,
Yeah, I don't know who, like, we keep seeing, like, people on Discord, I see, especially, like, with K-pop acts, oh, #1 on iTunes. Who the fuck buys iTunes music? I have no idea.
I know there's like they have Apple Radio, but I know some like celebrities, they say that they still shop like to support the artist is to buy on Apple.
I guess to support it,
Yeah.
to support. But that's like, that's basically you not buying because you want it, you buy it to support.
Support,
So that's
yeah.
same as buying merch, though, basically.
you simply had to provide a better alternative.
Because
Well, that was obvious.
supposedly
At the
also
same
when you go to the gym, you don't need internet service. You already have it right there anytime you want on demand.
What?
Okay, so you know, to go listen and stream your music, you need internet
Yes.
access. When you pay the $5.99, $9.99 for the song for the album, is directly saved onto your phone.
Okay.
So you don't need internet or anything to listen to it. It plays.
Who doesn't have internet on their phone nowadays?
Sometimes the internet is a little
Okay.
wonky. We go through an
Okay,
outage.
so-
There's a hurricane.
Mhm.
The electricity is out. How am I supposed to listen to the newest drop from Lady Gaga?
Okay,
I want to do my abracadabra. Na na na. Okay.
time as the music industry was seeing this massive transformation, the internet was making video piracy a lot more accessible. Regulators' efforts to combat video piracy weren't working. They mostly relied on vague threats and public service announcements like this
Oh,
one.
that looks so scary too. That looks so tough. And then the one that says, "Oh, you could go to jail." Oh yeah, I remember this one.
The only success that came from this PSA was an unintentional meme about downloading a car, which, let's be honest, we all would if we could.
You downloaded this vehicle.
Yes.
That's stealing.
How's it
Who's
stealing?
download the
I made an exact
vehicle?
copy. I didn't steal
No,
anything
you
from
wouldn't.
anyone.
You took potential profits from Toyota.
I wasn't going to buy a Hilux either way. They've lost no money. This hurts no one.
That's actually quite a good argument for online piracy.
I pirated this vehicle.
When Netflix had begun pivoting from mailing out DVD rentals into becoming an internet streaming company, this was a real solution, combating piracy with convenience, much like Spotify did for music.
I do
Why bother
miss
dealing with shady
every Friday. My dad would take me and my brother to. It's like a Blockbuster, but it's not Blockbuster. It's called Bob Ridge. We would go to Bob Ridge, and then you go through all the collections of video games, movies, DVDs, all of it. And there was a small section in the back, adults only. And you would
missed
go.
the adults
No,
only
I
section?
saw. I was looking at who was going in there because it was like exclusive. But it was so nice. Every Friday we go and we have, okay, this is gonna be for the weekend. We're gonna go all out, and then we have to return it. That was so nice.
It's a special experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, you know, like, you rent a movie to see everybody, the whole family sees the movie.
Yeah.
That has been lost
nice.
nowadays. Yeah, you watch movies on demand, whatever, whoever,
Yeah.
whenever, whatever.
And you can watch
that,
it solo by yourself. It's not really an
yeah,
experience
That
anymore.
experience has been lost.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
torrent sites, pop-up ads for who knows what, and low-quality bootlegs when you could pay a few bucks a month for unlimited, high-quality content. Of course, piracy didn't disappear entirely, but illegally downloading content that was readily available on Netflix
And the
seemed
mistake,
kinda pointless.
sometimes you think you downloaded the movie, but it was really porn. And it's like, wow.
This was the streaming golden age. Netflix was on its way to becoming a central place for all your favorite movies and TV shows, that is, until competition arrived. Suddenly, your favorite
Whoa.
movies and shows weren't all in one place anymore. Disney Plus, Hulu, Peacock, and a slew of others entered their arena, all vying for your
Wow.
attention and your dollars.
2021 was
Unlike
busy.
Spotify and Apple Music,
I mean,
which
I guess
offer virtually
COVID,
the
everyone was like, we're home, we need to make some money. So 2021, we need to make this bread.
same music libraries, video streaming took a completely different turn.
Oh, Disney Plus,
Content on
forgot
one
about that.
platform cannot
Yeah.
coexist somewhere else. We were apparently all naive to assume that it could. These streaming services have now made it clear that nothing is permanent. Warner Brothers Discovery
Yeah.
pulled Westworld and a bunch of other HBO shows from HBO
Wow.
Max to avoid paying residuals. Disney Plus has been caught removing original films and series without warning, and Netflix is notorious for constantly rotating its library, making it impossible to rely on the
Yes.
service for long-term access to anything.
Yes.
Even
Oh
digital
my
purchases aren't
gosh.
safe anymore. Amazon has been caught deleting or restricting access to movies that customers had actually bought. So let me get this straight. You pay for a streaming
Listen,
service, you get
I
emotionally
have
invested in a
Kindle points that Amazon needs to give me.
show, and then one day it vanishes without a trace, and the only surefire way to watch it whenever you want is to download it illegally? Yeah, that'll definitely kill piracy. While the streaming wars began as a battle royale for content supremacy, licensing disputes, and complex streaming contracts have soured the entire industry. Like, why could Disney Plus subscribers in the US watch The Bear, while those in Australia couldn't? These kinds of headaches are a big part of why streaming companies have morphed into becoming their own production
I
studios.
don't know why, honestly,
Netflix-
either.
Licensing probably it's gonna
Oh.
it's but as he said, that's not the way to combat streaming.
Originals like Squid Game should, in theory, be available forever and accessible everywhere. This evolution of streaming companies producing their own content means you're no longer subscribing to the platform with the best catalog of acquisitions. You're essentially investing into a single studio that's hopefully producing something good. Netflix
Yeah, that
is
was
planning
kinda
to drop a
smart.
staggering $18 billion on content in 2025 alone, with the lion's share going to originals, like finally delivering the last season of Stranger Things, even if the years of delays make it hard for the actors to still pass as kids, but whatever.
How do you do, fellow
Oof.
kids?
What?
Oof.
At some point, Netflix and its rivals will start seeing diminishing returns on their massive spending on original content and on what they can reasonably charge subscribers. If Netflix decided to spend $100 billion on new content, would you be willing to shell out $200 a month for it? Probably not. There's only so much content we can consume, and it's not like every original is a hit. The few must-watch movies and shows remain scattered across too many different platforms. According to Deloitte's digital
Have you
media
watched
trends
anything on
report,
Apple
the
Plus
average
TV?
US streaming video
What's
subscriber
on Apple
pays
Plus
for
TV?
4 services.
They have some shows.
Hmm.
I've seen some of them.
Any of your faves? No.
There was a good soccer one. I don't remember the name right now. The guy, he was like a football coach here in the States, and he went to coach European football.
Was
in,
it based on
the
a true
UK.
story or no?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Adding up to a hefty $69 per month. That's insane, and almost certainly unsustainable, considering that over 50% of Gen Z and millennials surveyed had canceled at least one paid streaming service in the last 6 months. Because streaming
Wait, what was that? According to 39% say they canceled at least one page in the last 6 months. Oh yeah, definitely.
has become so expensive, we're gonna start seeing more
Oh,
people
what was
picking a streaming
awful
service
is that
like
you
they
cannot share your membership with people. Like, Netflix cut down on what's it called, password sharing.
pick a sports team, crossing their fingers that the new releases will be good enough to justify sticking with it.
Why?
Well, you know, support the team.
Sure, you could drop Netflix after binging Inventing Anna, just so you can afford to subscribe to Apple TV for
That's
Ted
the show. That's the
Lasso, but are you really gonna go
Lasso.
Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso.
through that hassle every single month? That's incredibly annoying. The reality is,
I saw
if you
the
can't afford
commercial
to
of Ted
subscribe to both,
Lasso.
your options are to either pirate Ted Lasso or just never watch it. Neither option is a win for the consumer. Unfortunately, it's not just the fractured nature of exclusive content that's the problem. It's that streaming companies now have absolute control over everything. They get to call all the
Oh,
shots,
and
from what gets greenlit and
my biggest issue is every one of those services, it requires a different remote. I don't like that.
No, it doesn't.
RTV has like 3 remotes. You have to teach me how to.
Michelle,
Is there
that's
one
cable, not streaming.
There was one you had to teach me how to.
That
get
was
to.
cable. We don't have cable. No, we only have one remote.
okay,
I don't know what
okay,
you're talking
yeah.
about.
I was happy. That was stressing me out.
the budget to how it's released. Warner Brothers famously killed Batgirl, even though it was already filmed and they had already sunk $90 million into it. Why? Purely for a tax write-off. I'm sure their fans really love that. And have you noticed how
Whoa.
those genuinely hilarious R-rated comedy films that define the 2000s aren't being made anymore? It's not because people don't want them, it's because streaming companies aren't interested in making them. Whether it's due to the relentless competition or Wall Street's insatiable hunger for growth, Netflix, once the golden child of video streaming, has steadily become less and less consumer friendly. For years, Netflix
have.
practically encouraged password sharing.
What do
It
you
was part of
mean?
their brand identity.
They used to be, well, he's talking about password sharing, which is cool, true, but also Netflix used to be, because you could find good shows on there. Now Netflix is like mostly Netflix content, like what stuff they produce.
Is that a
you-
problem?
It's
I
a
don't mind
problem
it.
because
They got Squid Games. You.
Okay, but I want like shows from cable networks too.
That already existed.
Yeah, and you don't
Oh.
get
But
that.
then why don't you just go on cable?
So now I got to pay for that.
Oh.
That's the
Love
point.
is sharing a password. They tweeted that in 2017. In a complete reversal, they declared war on account sharing in 2023, forcing users to either pay extra for additional profiles or risk getting locked out. Other streaming platforms quickly followed suit. This wasn't about security or fairness, it was a blatant attempt to squeeze more money out of subscribers. To add insult to injury, Bezos, who has enough money to take joyrides to space, began forcing ads on Prime Video users even though they're already paying for the service. And predictably, many other streaming companies, including Netflix, have jumped on the bandwagon, offering ad supported tiers that cost about the same as what you were paying already. This kind of blatant corporate greed is exactly what drives people to look for alternatives. And when all streaming services are doing the same thing, the only alternative is piracy.
Well, pirating is stealing. We didn't steal it, okay? We just downloaded it.
No, the website is called moviepirate.com.
And the other one is called free movies /
I'm starting to see a
One
little bit of a
time
pattern here.
I saw
because,
pirated
I also use one-
content, and next thing you know, I saw a cat. Meow, meow.
What?
There was a cat. Like, you know the cat.
Oh, the
Meow. And I'm like, reset it.
In recent years, Netflix has become increasingly concerned
It's not
about how
perfect,
easily
it's not
people can
ideal.
avoid paying for their service. In the competition section of Netflix 2024 annual review, piracy gets mentioned several times. Back when Netflix first launched, its on-demand streaming experience had a major advantage over most pirate sites. The most common way to pirate something was
I wonder if he's gonna show some stats how if the piracy is back on the rise or not, because that would be an interesting statistic to see.
I don't know.
with torrents,
I know
which
is, like,
required
get
at least
it-
some
oh.
technical know-how, and you had to wait for the content
Yeah,
to
that you
download.
need like a coder
Today,
to
most
do
pirate
that.
sites offer
Torrents?
on-demand
That's so
streaming with a
intimidating.
user experience that's virtually identical to Netflix, but with more content and no subscription fee. Netflix piracy concerns are valid. They are losing billions of dollars, but it's not like the company is anywhere close to collapsing. In fact, despite doing everything in their power to piss off their own customers, like raising prices, introducing ads, and cracking down on password sharing, 2024 was one of their best years. It seems people have a
It's working.
surprising amount of loyalty to Netflix, even if the value proposition isn't always great. Subscriptions are incredibly sticky. Once you sign up for one, you're likely to stay subscribed. If Netflix was actually suffering considerably from piracy, then they would be much more aggressive in trying to shut down these illicit sites, but even then, new ones will inevitably pop up to take their place, so it's not really a long-term solution. If consolidation of streaming services isn't going to happen, then Netflix's only real path forward is to continue making high-quality exclusive content at a price point that makes people happy to pay for it. Judging by their recent growth in membership, it seems to be working for them, at least for now. The same can't be said for some of the other streaming companies. Ideally, we shouldn't be advocating for piracy because content isn't free to produce, so it shouldn't be free to consume either. However, in the current streaming landscape, even with an abundance of high-quality content,
that's
having to
Reacher.
subscribe to multiple services
think
at
so.
once just doesn't make a lot of sense. Piracy isn't going away. In fact, it will only intensify.
Yeah, they have to do something about it because it's getting ridiculous at this point. But
Can you go to the comments? I do feel like some of them they cross collab, like if you like
some shows are multiple platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best part of that piracy stealing ad is the fact that they didn't have the license to use the music used in it, so they got sued. Oh wow. What's stupid is car companies are trying to make a vehicle ownership a subscription experience.
I think so. When you have a car, you have to pay for serious.
Mm-hmm. Reminds me of what Gabe Newell said of Valve back in 2011. One thing that we have learned is that piracy is not a pricing issue; it's a service issue. Oh,
Okay. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.